Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the second part. It is 10:33 a.m. in the morning here in Hawk Island, Montreal. First and foremost, my main message is and will be whatever this video will be an hour and a half, 93 minutes, more or less than 93 minutes. The main message is to the whole world today with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding, and love. Hug like you never hugged before today. That is the main message to the world with consent, hygiene, mutual understanding, and love. Hug like you've never hugged before today. And the whole duration of this video, you can take pauses of this lecture, my allies and armies, with consent, mutual understanding, and LOVE, love. Hug like you never hugged before today. And now we can proceed to the matter at hand. But first, I'm gonna say gratitude. I am grateful, thankful that my rent is paid in full. Fully paid my rent for November. It is November 2nd of the month has just begun, and I've paid my rent yesterday, so I'm good to go for November to rock and roll, work out, train, exercise, do and do and do and love, love, love as I am. Gonna carpe diem it every day as I am. Carpe diem it every day as I am. Carpe diem it every day. So please, 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 with consent and hygiene, encourage all to also work out, to train, to exercise today. And to please, 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 please increase in hygiene in public, my brothers and sisters, because there are microbes, bacteria, and germs. And please, please, please wash your hands, disinfect, wash your hands, rub your hands, wash your hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer when you step and go outside in the public, because we have an added public responsibility, duty, and obligation when we are outside in the public arena, in the public sphere, in the public domain at this moment in time, still continuing for public hygiene, and hopefully to encourage it even afterwards. Because right now, for example, yours truly, Citizen Dragon, in this underground room, office, and temple, gonna rock and roll, do art, philosophize, do a little bit of geopolitical analysis, and of course discuss the main topic at hand, which is the elections in Israel, the Israeli elections, the fourth in 2 years of the ongoing Israeli elections, with no clear winner at this moment in time. Keep in mind that there are time zones. It is 10:36 a.m. in the morning, so the elections are still ongoing. Of course, in Israel, the elections are still happening. The count, that is, the count, are still being counted in Israel. The count has been still being counted. That is the elections. Results of the elections are still not conclusive. So yours truly, in this underground room, office and temple, independent artist, independent activist, independent athlete, AAA plus other dimensions, geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent psychological analyst and theorist, independent sexual analyst and theorist, sometimes fused together, independent psychosexual analyst and theorist, and the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Please, please, please increase in hygiene in public, and please, 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 triple please, if you do make 1 million profit on the stock market today, buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts, and of course pork bellies, chops, copper sticks, that gold, that silver, of course that copper, oil, futures, stocks, penny stocks, dollar stocks, big $156 stocks, buy, sell, trades, foreign exchange. If you do make 1 million on the stock market today profit, please, please, please give 10% of that million, which is equivalates 10% of a million is 100,000. Divide that 100,000 by 4, which the equivalent of 25,000 for each. 25,000 4 times 100,000 divided by 4 is 25,000. So you can give 25,000 first and foremost for food security, because everybody gotta eat, even the multi-millionaires and multi-billionaire athletes, artists, and financiers and corporation CEOs of corporations. So 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for LGBTQ youth services, and 25,000 for environmental issues, to plant a tree for every tree that we, of course, subtract and take from Mother Nature, the greatest artist and scientist. I am grateful, thankful this morning, 10:38 a.m. in the morning, that my rent is paid in full. Fully paid my rent for the month of November yesterday. My electricity bill is also paid in full. Fully paid my electricity bill. As a matter of fact, shout out, give a shout out to the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions, who since 1944 worked in different capacities for Hydro-Quebec and via and with and by brains and muscle built 63 dams. Des centrales 63 centrales de l'Hydro-Québec ont été bâties par du muscle, puis des cerveaux, par du cerveau, puis des muscles, par du cerveau, puis des muscles, des milliers, des dizaines de milliers, des centaines de millions de Québécois et Québécoises to build 63 dams across this province, La Belle Province, close to 9 million people, to me, you, and all who live in La Belle Province, plus my brothers and sisters in the USA. I think five, maybe six states now. Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine receive electricity from Hydro-Quebec, which produces electricity in a clean, renewable, zero pollution, zero emission way. By those one, a combination of those 63 dams which are built across this La Belle Province with brains and muscle, because brothers and sisters, of course, it takes brains and muscle for us to build, maintain, or upgrade civilization. Hopefully, at this late hour with solutions we gotta focus, it is, of course, with brains and muscle that we maintain or build civilization. And my own healing, I know all about healing and recovery. I've been down and out, rock bottom, even at this moment in time doing this video on this 10:39 a.m. Although I'm rich, wealthy, affluent in kisses, hugs, rubs, and art and creativity, I am $10,000 in debt to the RBC. So I'm broke, but I am open for business 24/7. Open for business 24/7. Give me a day to snore, but generally 24/7 I am open for business. And my philosophy is the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. How do we invest in this body? By working out, by training, and by exercising. Have been and will continue to encourage the mass financing of citizens to work out, to train, and to exercise. Sometimes it's hard to get into it. I've been on a fitness journey which continues. I've lost more than 77 pounds. I am still continuing to lose 77 pounds. Of course, I lost 77 pounds. I'm still on my fitness journey, and I encourage all to work out, to train, exercise, go for a jog, go for a run, go for a march, dance, or just roll on the ground for half an hour, just go crazy on it. Do an exercise, workout, do push-ups with people's doctor who has suffered, struggled, I suffered, been depressed, been suicidal, have conquered depression, have conquered depression, and I'm no longer suicidal. I've been in the open for many years now as being LGBTQ. I am, of course, androgynous pansexual, but besides Adrian H. Dragon, who died being reborn during this COVID as Adrian Hannah Dragon, the most important things are, of course, part of my philosophies. My dance as an artist, activist, athlete, and philosopher, and of course my dream, which is the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. My dream, which is the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. My dream, which is the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream for world peace, international justice, security, and individual freedom, and of course attaining harmony between civilization and nature. And my philosophies, and I do believe my trinity of theories known as CIT, citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, the DRT, and the democratic fusion theory. Those trinity of theories are best to be implemented at this point in time via public and private partnership, because fundamentally my dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom dream is a public-private partnership, and the implementation of my trinity of theories in order to create two complementary, covenant, and cooperative institutions of the international citizen integrated social security and service force, aka the Dragon Army, in complementary with the International Integrated Dancing, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, for purpose and pleasure, for the environment and nature, for us to, of course, maintain and hopefully upgrade civilization. And part of upgrading civilization in my philosophy is now today that we gotta, of course, be environmentally friendly and more conscious and environmentally prone to do more environmental action. Like, for example, planting a tree for every tree that we cut down, brothers and sisters, right? So please, Wall Street, if you make a million on the stock market, buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts, all that monkey business, please give 10% of a million, which is the equivalent of 100,000. 100,000 divided by 4 million is 25,000. 25,000 for food security first, because everybody gotta eat. For women's sports leagues, because let's be honest, brothers, they don't make enough. Like the patriarchal sports leagues make of the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, and MLB make, of course, for patriarchal sports leagues, make way more more money. And of course, I am a call of the heart as an independent athlete, the people's athlete, who's a pro labor universal revolutionary centrist. I'm a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist. I'm a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, meaning pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, who's of course founder of the Global Dragon Union. I do believe for the 21st century, with workers' rights and balances of productivity, and of course our own personal lives with the work, I do believe in trying to make work as much play as possible. And if we have the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, I do believe that my CIT, citizen integration theory, will address many of issues such as alienation, which since 1984, due to the global technocratic financialized system, has arisen, of course, after Ronald Reagan's election, but not to blame it on one person, because I don't like to generalize, but of course, it was a major event in North American and Western politics, the re-election of Ronald Reagan, and of course, the economic, financial, fiscal policies, and what have you. And of course, since 1984, we had a global financialized, technocratic, corporatized financial order, which has been instilled since 1984, sort of arisen a global corporate technocratic financialized order system. I believe my theories to create two complementary institutions, first in the collective North America civilization, as a geopolitical analyst and theorist. Of course, I've lectured on my theory and my proposal and what I believe, that we North Americans, I'm a Quebecer, Canadian, North American, and of course afterwards I am also a world citizen. I am a universal, have a universal heart, but of course I am here on this Hawk Island, Montreal, with my own struggles, having been through depression, I've been suicidal, and having been suffered and pain, and I've lost economic, financial, commercial opportunity due to being LGBTQ, due to being rainbow. I'm a rainbow dragon. I've been in the open for many years. I'm androgynous, pansexual, but that's something that's just part of who we are. Our sexuality, our psychology, our what skills, what can I offer? Oh, I can do this, I can do that. I got some brain and some muscle. I got some brain and some muscle. I'm fundamentally, I'm just a piece of dust, dancing and lusting piece of dust. Gets moody. I admit I am mediocre at some things. I admit I am average at some things. I admit I am so-so at other things, while being simultaneously great, super, and excellent at geopolitical analysis and theory, super, and excellent at theory. And I am, of course, excellent, of course, in my workouts, trainings, and exercises. I am also good at other things. Perhaps I'm the best kisser in the world. I don't know if I'm the best kisser, but I do got the most kisses in the world, credited from the goddess, queen of heaven above in the blue sky. And the star sent one kiss to her sister, who dances with her brother's son, to make, create, and produce all fruits, vegetables, and legumes and grains that our brothers and sisters farmers harvest for us to make, upgrade, and maintain civilization. And that one kiss turned into 718 trillions of kisses. They're credited to yours truly, Adrian Hanna, dragon, androgynous, pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Support the dream, support the dream, support the dream. Credited with the condition. And that condition is to freely distribute to all my willingly loving allies and armies. Pledge your allegiance, because can make all kiss millionaires. So that's what I got. 718 trillions. 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. 1 billion is 1,000 million. So got trillions of kisses credited from the goddess. I do say goddess. I'm a universal spiritual teaching student who doesn't know it all. I have questions, many questions. Nature is divine. The body is holy for me, a holy temple for pleasure and purpose, and investing in the body by working out, training, and exercising is what I've been doing for many years now on the fitness journey, what we'll do today later on in my investment, and what I do encourage people to also do with hygiene. Yes, I did get dirty, but get back clean, and XYZ. So I got some brain and some muscle, and those trillions of kisses by which I am founding the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, in parallel to the brains, my theories that I'm calling for the implementation, the CIT, citizen integration theory, lateral fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. That trinity of theories to be implemented via the fourth dimension, and that fourth dimension is love. And that's my main message to my Israeli brothers and sisters. It's this word, achava, chava, chava. It means love. As a co-prime minister, I would just say this word every day, achava, and I would offer kisses, because that's what I got. Offer kisses and offer dances and offer marches and some hugs and some tickles with that. You can say no to my offers. No, I don't want your kisses. No, I don't want your hug. No, I don't want your, well, you offer me kisses, I'm never gonna say no. I might ask if you're vaccinated, because I'm triple vaccinated. Hygiene is important. So if you offer me kisses, I say yes. If you offer me tickles, yeah, maybe I say a little bit, I'll try it out a bit. You offer me hugs, I'm never gonna say no. I'm an all you can hug, give and receive pleasure, give and receive. I'm on all you can hug, all you can kiss, give and receive, and all you can tickle. Dragon. With some rock and roll. I'm thankful, grateful on this day that my rent is fully paid my rent. I'm gonna carpe diem. I'm gonna, after this video session in the morning, this intellectual, philosophical, artistic, and spiritual session, I'm gonna go check my emails, gonna go extend my hand to reach out for an invitation for cooperation, collaboration, and participation. My dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom dreaming, everything, all the activities that I do as an independent philosopher, as an independent artist, as an independent athlete, as an independent activist, as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, as a citizen of right here, Hawk Island, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, North America, who's got a universal heart. And I do believe I'm a world peace advocate as well, but at the same time, I do admit that I do have aggression in me. I admit it, I admit it. I have been admitting it. I mean, what I do with it is channel and sublimate. Two keywords of my philosophy, brothers and sisters, is channeling and sublimating. Channeling and sublimating. Channeling. I've been depressed. I've been out. Been XYZ. I've studied, learned, still made the libraries of the Hawk Island, Montreal, libraries of the city of Montreal, Hawk Island, my second home, and the tens of thousands of books, my friends. And I want to love and be loved. First and foremost, maybe that's one thing that I want to give and receive today, November 2nd. Some bacon with it, that's fine. So a little bit of cake, cheesecake with it. A little bit of XYZ, more opportunities for cooperation, collaboration, and especially in pertinence, in pertaining to my dream, the dancing goddess and the dragon king. With our rap album, I do rap a little bit. Nobody knows it, but I'm the best underground rapper. Rap for the farmers, yeah. Everybody got a, yeah, living in gated communities. So, yeah, do that homo rap, do that homo rap, do that homo rap. Love you, homos. Yeah, I'm a homo dragon. A rainbow dragon with a big red booty. But that's just one part. It's like I have so many dimensions of being, of self. Sexuality, psychology, skills, competencies, experiences, which sometimes are painful. Sometimes I've been through pain, this whole humanity. Like, we're struggling with all these new technologies, live streaming on Facebook, telecommunications. And in this life, I know a little bit about it. Right? In the parallel life, I'm a scientist, one of the greatest. In a parallel life, I'm a hybrid of Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg, with a bit of Aleister Crowley in it. So I'm a hybrid being in the parallel life. I've been connecting during COVID with that parallel life, and then I get headaches. They send me 718 books, thick books, thick paper with hundreds of pages each. How you want me to read all this? Yeah, I got this XYZ, you got this much amount of years, I'll get headaches. And I say to my parallel self, which builds satellites, supercomputers, ICBM rockets, microchips, 3G, 4G, 5G in the 6 and 7G now, my parallel self, and smartphones and everything to do with the internet, superstructures and fiber optics, cables, IT, super network structures of cloud computing and supercomputing. That's that parallel self does. I get headaches. It gives me hundreds of books to read. I get headaches. But I also send him my workout program, which I've created. So I send him, he says, hey, you know what? You can do this workout. I say, do this workout, my workout as an independent athlete, which I've created, which is simply effective and efficient, of which I've performed more than 300 workouts. I'm still celebrating in celebration. Victory over having performed 300 workout training sessions of my own creative workout program, which I'm looking for volunteers to build a dragon army up. Of course, for people to encourage it, I encourage the adoption across universities, schools, and across North America, and public and private institutions and citizens to be encouraged to do my workout, because it requires no equipment. And it increases general overall fitness. And it's the workout which I've sent to my parallel self, and he's almost able to do it. He's been struggling with it. Says, hey, within the rules, it's not that easy as it sounds. So these are the rules of my workout. 93 minutes are allocated in total for one to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. That's the holy trinity of the general war integrated total body training system, aka the Dragon Army workout, aka the 300 workout. 93 minutes. Once you start the 93-minute countdown, there's no pause, there's no stop, There's no stop. You gotta keep it in motion by marching or jogging or running or walking fast pace. A maximum of 13 repetitions per set is allowed, a minimum of 3 anywhere in between those. 7, 6, 5, 9, 10, whatever the number is. 7, 6, 5, 9, 10, between 13 and 3. And a minimum of 31 seconds is required of marching or jogging in between sets. So the four main rules and four main numbers are those. Well, the general war integrated whole body training system. You got 93 minutes to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hocks. 100 for each. 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hocks. Holy Trinity. 13 and 3 in between. 13 maximum reps per set, 3 minimum. Anywhere in between. 7, 6, 5, 9, 10, whatever the number is. 13 and 3. 13 max, 3 minimum. 7, 6, 5, 9, 10, whatever the number is. Until you get to 100 for each of the aforementioned. 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hocks. You see me doing hundreds of videos. I got proof of work on YouTube, on Facebook, live stream during COVID. So many of my hundreds of workouts. I did more than 300 sessions already of my general war integrated total body training system. As a matter of fact, yesterday I officially did like 314th. Because the 300, which was October, no, correction, which was September 29th, I've officially turned that A of my surname into a no. So these are the workouts that I did. I'm auctioning, by the way, the paper which were written by hand, the papers which were written by hand, those papers which were all written by hand, and I'm auctioning them. So I've done, yesterday was the 204 post 314th general war integrated soul body training system. So you try to do it, you're a potential dragon if you're able to do it, and once you reach 300 you're the next dragon, because I have become dragon 0 when I've officially performed 300, which I set out to do as a cycle to turn that A of my surname into a no. Dragon became dragon, dragon became dragon, dragon became dragon. By doing this workout, because the motto of the dragon army is nobody is born a dragon, you become one. Nobody is born a dragon, you become one. Nobody is born a dragon, you become one. So brothers and sisters, I encourage all in hygiene in public. I encourage all to work out, train, exercise, channel and sublimate the aggression, the violence. Channel and sublimate the aggression, the violence. Channel and sublimate the aggression, the violence. Do push-ups, do squats, do my workout. My parallel self is trying to do my workout. He's getting better at it. Slowly. He said, first I can able to do it. A few months later, I'm getting better at it. 1 year later, I'm getting better. 2 years later, he's almost there. But I get sore still. I also still feel it when I do it. It increases general overall fitness. Most people, I believe, will plateau the apex total development possible to build lean, natural, raw muscle and increase general overall fitness to about after 300 sessions, maybe more. Maybe even one can increase even for a few 400, 500, 600, maybe 700, who knows. But at one point you will plateau, and it would be, by that workout, it will be just maintenance. But nonetheless, until at least 300, you increase general overall fitness. You increases general overall fitness, one increases general overall fitness, because the push-up work, the chest, the core, the area, and the muscles, or the core and the arms, the push-up, the squats, the lower body, the booty, peach, booty, peach, booty, peach, and of course the thighs and what have you, and of course the hocks. You go on the toes as a ballerina at ballet, trains the feet, the ankles, and the laterals, and all the lower extremities of the body, while also the neck and the arms and the laterals, right? So that's the beauty of this system, workout system, because once you have three elements that are disparate and different elements that complement each other, you have a system. So that's why it's called officially the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army Workout. Paradoxically, it was created back in 2019 in October, as yours truly, as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, had taken into consideration what had transpired at that moment in time, namely the US-China trade war, the arrest of Meng Gonzalo by the RCMP to honor an extradition treaty with the United States of America, and consequently the arrest of the two Michael Spavor, Michael Kovrig, detained in China, and other geopolitical events such as the ongoing Islamic State terrorism and other geopolitical factors, and historical events such as Pearl Harbor, amongst others. And back in October 2019, I've sounded the alarm. I said, humanity, brothers and sisters, we are again on a path towards another international conflagration, and so made and created and produced the General War Integrated Body Training System to go with such a scenario, in order, if a mobilization of citizens, of North America, Canada, NATO. I was thinking from a NATO perspective, from as a North American, or North America part of NORAD, from NORAD perspective, first and foremost, and then NATO perspective, right? From that geopolitical analysis, me as a North American, because I am, although I've many past lives, many incarnations from ancient Israel, by the Nile, ancient Egypt, by the Nile to ancient, of course, I met Moses in ancient Egypt in a past life, and I was a woman in a past life and danced with Moses' sister. I was part of her dancing army, as you can read there in the Genesis, correction, Exodus chapter 18, Exodus chapter 18, Exodus chapter 19, where Miriam, Moses' sister, is called a prophetess, right? A woman prophetess, I'm not gonna go into my universal spiritual teachings, because I'm a spiritual student. I'm learning every day. I'm a piece of dust. Look at the trees. Look at 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, even 7 times my size. Some trees here, Hokkaido, Montreal. The sun for me is divine. Mother Nature, my body is holy, sacred, and divine. Your body is holy, sacred, and divine. This cup of coffee is coffee. Drinking this coffee, there's a spiritual component to it. It contains sunlight. What? Well, the black coffee bean, if we meditate on it, it has some sunlight in any form, is transformed. Right? You're not totally aware of that, but so it is. Because the sun now shines coast to coast. It is 10:59 a.m. Let's round it up, 11 a.m. in the morning, Hokkaido, Montreal. The sun covers coast to coast now. It's autumn here in Canada. But coast to coast, that way is the Atlantic. That's the East Coast. Maritimes, New Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Labrador, Newfoundland. That way is the Atlantic. Île la Madeleine, the Magdalene Islands. That way is the East Atlantic. That way is the West. We gotta subtract 3 hours, and then the plus, we gotta plus addition hours, right? That way we add hours, and that way we subtract. So now it's 11 a.m. When we gotta subtract, if we go all the way, that way west is, we go after Quebec, it's Ontario, after is Manitoba, after Saskatchewan, after is Alberta, after is British Columbia. And British Columbia, of course, Vancouver is the Pacific Ocean. And we go down to Seattle, Washington State, and we go down to the Bay Area, San Francisco, LA to California. That's 3 hours minus. So 11 minus 3, do the math, train the brain. Do the math, train the brain. That is 8, right? 11 minus 3 is 8. So it's 8 in the morning exactly, because it's 11 a.m. exactly here in Hokkaido, Montreal. It's 8 a.m. So they're wakey, right? Thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers. Wakey from British Columbia, North America, 12 North America. Big dragon hugs, big healing blessings, because everybody gotta eat, brothers and sisters. Everybody gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat. I gotta eat. You gotta eat. Multimillionaires buying things, selling stock, trading Wall Street. Now they gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat, man. No way around that. The Pope, my Pope is the sun, but the Pope is not my Pope, but my Pope is the sun. S-U-N. Rises and now sets. The sun now rises, now sets, and covers with all that light, life and light and heat. All coast, all the Canada coast to coast, United States coast to coast, Mexico coast to coast, Guatemala coast to coast, and El Salvador coast to coast, Costa Rica coast to coast, Panama coast to coast, going to Colombia coast to coast, Colombia, Bolivia, Venezuela, Chile, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, all the way to Bolivia and Brazil, and Suriname. So North America coast to coast, and the islands, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, all the islands, North America, Central America, South America, it's covered. Plus, let's see what's the time in Israel, since we're discussing the time of Israeli election, right? What is the Israeli election? Israel time. Tel Aviv. Let's see Tel Aviv Yafo. Tel Aviv time. What's the time? 5:01 p.m. in Tel Aviv Yafo. Tel Aviv Yafo. How do I say kisses? Again, I gotta thank you, my anonymous sister, whom if I make a mean, I'm gonna give her half. My anonymous sister, the dancing goddess of the Dragon Kingdom. If my anonymous sister, give her half of my dancing goddess and Dragon Kingdom. If I make a million, pay my debt first, gonna give her half of every million. If even a billion, gonna give her half. She's a great artist and she deserves it. I nominate my anonymous sister as the chief prime minister, chief general, chief high priestess of queen of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Kiss. Kiss. Meshika, Meshika. That's my first message. Achava and Meshika, and I co-prime minister in Israel. I'm gonna say every day, tanzen, tanzen, tanzen. That's Yiddish for dance, to dance. What's the Hebrew word for dancing? Let's see. Hebrew word for dancing. I knew it. I forgot. An angel, archangel slapped me 7 years ago. I forgot a lot about my youth, my childhood, my early adult life. I remember seven, mostly this past 7 years, and writing, studying all things about the world, right? Studying a lot of things about the world, and here I am rebirthing during this COVID. I remember paradoxically many past lives, many incarnations from ancient Egypt by the Nile, where as a woman I've danced in Moses' sister's dancing army, Miriam, as it goes in the past life, and was by the Sumeria, ancient Babylon, by the Euphrates in ancient India, by the Ganges, was born in ancient India, by the Ganges, was born in ancient India, by the Ganges, by the Danube in ancient Rome, and here I was born on the island of Hak al-Mandran in past life, right on this island. In our past life, I helped a strongman Quebecer. I was born as a Quebecer in a past life, helped Louis Cyr. Dans une autre vie, j'avais aidé Louis Cyr à pousser les chevaux sur une calèche. I helped Louis Cyr to push the horses on a cart in a past life. That's what I remember, flashes of past lives and previous incarnations. And here I am, a world peace advocate, universal spiritual teaching student, and independent artist who's broke, but rich in kisses and some brain and some muscle. I'm grateful, thankful that my rent's paid, my electricity bill is paid in full, and of course, when I love and be loved, I offer what I can offer, and offer what I can offer, what I can do, can write, can do this, can kiss, can wash, can cook, can clean, can work out, can train, can exercise, can speak, can recite, can write, can read, and I am already written 3 children's books, children books writer. So we have here at the dancing. Thank you, my Nana sister, for this Hebrew English dictionary. Hebrew English dictionary. Dancing, 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 dancing. Oh, we are at DA. There we are. Close, dance. Mazol, mahol, mazol, mazol, dancing. Rikud, to dance. Lirkod, dancer. Ragdan, ragdan, ragdan. Dancing, rikud, to dance. Lericod, lericod, so lericod, 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 lericod. That's the main word. Dancing, kissing, and that would be the main. Dance. The dance is mahol, mazol, with a chay, chet, mam, chet, vav, lamed. Rikud, rikud, rikud. Lirkod. A dancer like me is ragdan, ragdan, ragdan. Dancing, rikud, rikud. And kiss, like I said before, kiss. I'm gonna put a little bit of a here as a dance because those are important words, most important words for me. Dance, cybernetics, cybernetica, cybernetica, cybernetics, cybernetica, and dance, ragdan. Chava, co-prime minister, ragdan, co-prime minister, ragdan, co-prime minister, drakon. That's the word in Hebrew for dragon, is drakon. Drakon, ragdan, ragdan, drakon. Ragdan ha drakon. Drakon ha ragdan. Drakon ha ragdan. Drakon ha ragdan. And rainbow, let's see the word for rainbow. That's another important word. There will be pride every weekend. Rainbow, let's see. Rainbow. Oh, we have rainbow. This I knew. Keshet be'anan. Keshet be'anan. Be'anan. Anan is a cloud. So it's literally, what a cloud. Anan. Kof, shin, tav, bet, ayin, nun, vav. Nun, be, ayin, nun, be. Keshet be'anan. Keshet be'anan. Keshet be'anan. So another important word. Keshet be'anan. Drakon ha. Keshet be'anan. Ragdan. Drakon rhymes. It's a good rhyme. See, we got a rock rap song for Israeli election. Drakon haragdan bekeshet be'anan. Drakon haragdan bekeshet be'anan. Huh? Drakon haragdan bekeshet be'anan. The dancing rainbow dancing dragon, the dancer rainbow dragon, something like that. Literally, Drakon. So you got the most important words. And the kiss. Where's the kiss? Kibbutz. The kiss must be close. Meshika lenashek. Meshika lenashek. Meshika lenashek. So let's see. It's 5:09 p.m. here. This is 11:09 p.m. So they're close to the sunset. There's sunset in Tel Aviv in Israel, and of course the Middle East and Egypt and Africa and Europe. But there's different time zones, right? So keep in mind that the time zones might differ. So it means that it's 5:10 p.m. So it's a few minutes, maybe 77 minutes, 93 minutes to sunset. So it's +6 for Tel Aviv. For Israel now it's +6. But November 6th, we changed the time zones here. So it's +6, but November 6th, we're going to change the time zone. So it's going to be, I think, 7 hours difference. So it's 7 hours difference. November 6th, we changed the time zones in North America. So if it's +6 now, I think it's going to be +7 after November 6th. +7 plus Sheva, 7 Sheva, plus 7. So in Tel Aviv, let's see what are the election results. In the news, Israeli elections. Israel winner new are defined by supremacy of people of Israel, Middle East are one over 5 different rounds of elections. Elections, no clear winner. Lapid camp loses Israeli general elections. Israel's Lapid pull out of COP after election bow. Israel's Netanyahu appear poised for comeback. Holds lead in election. 7 hours ago, CBC. Israel former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was poised to return to power, saying on Wednesday that his right-wing camp was on exit polls in Israeli elections point to likely Netanyahu win. This is 15 hours ago. Palestinians election results show no peace partner in Israel. Israeli elections, Netanyahu on track to regain power. Exit polls suggest. Israeli elections, former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu poised to return to power with far right's help. Palestinians fear Israeli elections could mean more violence. Peace, dance, kiss, hygiene, dance, kiss, hygiene, dance, kiss. Israeli elections, Itamar Ben Gvir stresses security after strong showing by religious Zionism. King of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu addresses cheering support after he looks set for return for a third time. A spearman election result come in despite. So it's 3 hours ago. Biden shouldn't try to save Israeli democracy from election voters. Reuters reports Benjamin Netanyahu faces balancing act after Israel election comeback. Benjamin Netanyahu faces balancing out after his election comeback. So is it clear? It's not clear if Benjamin Netanyahu won or didn't win. My story with a declaration that his time on the opposition benches after an election loss in 2021 was a hiatus. Let's see. And now we're gonna do the reading on the on the Wikipedia page for the Israeli elections, but we're gonna get a refill of coffee before rock and rolling with this one. And again, I'm gonna go over my theories real quick. My theories: the CIT, citizen integration theory; the DRT, the debt fusion theory; and the democratic fusion theory. That trinity of theories that I'm calling, of course, on a special protocol for 7 years. Genesis 33 verse 4 protocol for their implementation via the fourth dimension love. So first and foremost, this debt fusion theory has to be taken into consideration. So, because first and foremost, the debt fusion theory, and I firmly believe with all the quirks and all that I admit that I'm some things I am average, some things I'm so-so, some things I'm mediocre, while admitting that I'm so-so at some things, average at other things, mediocre at other things, while admitting that also I am great, super, and excellent at some other things, while being in parallel so-so, average, and mediocre at some other things, such as perhaps basketball, perhaps XYZ. So while being great and super and excellent at some other things, I am mediocre, average at some other things. So I got some brain and some muscle, but I'm not perfect, far from it. I got issues, I got some vices, I got lusts and XYZ, and don't need to spine me RCMP, and say CIA, FSB, former KGB, FSB, former KGB, FSB, former Stasi are gone up to 1989 November, where East Germany secret police. MI6, Mossad, yes. I watch a little bit of idol movies, PORN, doing the Sabbath, which for the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. I dream the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom begins Friday at midnight and lasts until Sunday 3 p.m. or so. So it's about 44 hours or so, 44 hours, more or less. And that stated, like I said, I'm not perfect, far from it, and XYZ. I do every day what I love, philosophize, work out, train, art, and I do firmly believe in my trinity of theories. At this point in time where we are with inflation, tough economic, financial, commercial times, I've been a bit disappointed, disillusioned, and a bit moody, perhaps angry that the major corporations, big retailers, and super big mega grocery store chains and other multimillionaires and billionaires did not help this Halloween season to help reduce the costs of the Halloween candy, Halloween sweets, Halloween goods, all Halloween related products, from sweets to candies to chocolates to all the treats, on Halloween. I was hoping to relieve family relief and recovery and relief economically, financial, commercially, that they would reduce this one time Halloween. Well, it hasn't happened, but anyways, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom will every Sabbath, which begins at midnight. It's Halloween every Sabbath, which begins at midnight. It's Halloween every Sabbath, which begins at midnight Friday and lasts until Sunday after 3 p.m. Make it like it's Halloween. You can dress up, wear costumes during the Sabbath, which begins Friday at midnight, and dance, and with consent, during the Sabbath, make LOVs for pleasure, and recreation. So now I'm at work, a philosopher at work, advocating for my trinity of theories. The trinity of theories that I'm advocating, calling for their implementation, is called the citizen integration theory, known as CIT, the democratic fusion theory, the DFT, and the debt fusion theory, the DRT, to be implemented via the fourth dimension, LOV. So what is the debt fusion theory? So first and foremost, the debt fusion theory has to be implemented first, and that's what I'm calling part of this ongoing this week. This is November 2nd, this first week of November, calling for the 7-year project ASAP, Genesis 33 verse 4. And the NATO member countries, North America, NORAD, the collective North American civilization first, because we constitute a collective civilization. Then our allies in NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and with Israel, the part of the Genesis chapter 33 verse 4, as it relates to a story of the twins in the Bible, Jacob and Esau, where they embraced and kissed. Genesis 33 verse 4 is a verse in the Bible where the twins, Jacob and Esau, embraced and kissed. Genesis 33 verse 4 is a verse in the Bible where the twins, Jacob and Esau, embraced and kissed. That's based on that verse, to apply it to all things philosophy, finance, security, all manners of culture and civilization, of North American collective civilization, Western civilization, and of course the to implement my Trinity theories beyond in Central America, South America, my brothers and sisters in Africa, the Middle East, as I am also a world peace advocate. But from here, from Hawk Island, Montreal, in Quebec, Canada, as a Quebecer, North American philosopher, independent philosopher, this is what I'm calling for first and foremost. North America, NORAD, 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 NATO and beyond. So implement the debt refusion theory. So debt refusion theory is taking all private and public debt. My private debt is $10,000 to the RBC. I gotta say that I'm paying the most interest that I ever paid, due to the fact that the Bank of Canada has, of course, hiked the interest rates the most it has ever since 1998, a few weeks ago, by 1 full percentage point. So myself included, I am paying the most interest along with many families that I ever paid on my debt. So I'm in debt, I'm broke, but I got some brain and some muscle. And of course, money for me is fundamentally to buy, sell, to buy, sell, to buy, sell, services, goods, goods and services fundamentally. And I do firmly believe that my theory, called the debt refusion theory, is best to be implemented at this point in time. So what is the debt refusion theory? So the debt refusion theory is taking all debt, private and public. So my private debt as a private citizen dragon is $10,000 to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. And there's hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions across North America, NATO member countries and beyond. So taking all private debt, my 10,000, if private debt of private citizens is represented by the letter X, let's say I'm X1, that's 10,000. You're X2, 13,000, 5,000, 2,000, whatever. All the X's put together, all the number of that debt, because the United States dollar, this dollar, see, it was printed in 2009. This United States dollar was printed in 2009 series, was printed in 2009 in the United States of America. This dollar here of the US dollar was printed in 2009. So this dollar is still, the US dollar generally, not just this dollar, but this is still the currency of choice for international finance, currency of choice for global trade, currency of choice for world commerce. So this dollar is still the currency of choice worldwide for global finance, world commerce, and international business, international trade. So this currency, the US dollar, is still the currency of choice for international finance, for global trade, for world commerce. Still this dollar. So taking all the debt we use here in Canada, Canadian dollars. How much is the Canadian dollar today? Let's see, compared to the US. So taking all the private and the public debt. So private citizens of Canada, of which we are what? Close to reaching 40 million. So XYZ have amount of debt. So the private debt and the public debt, the debt of Canada as a whole, right? Of Canada as a whole. So taking all the debt of Canada as a whole. So one Canadian dollar today is the equivalent of 73 cents US. One Canadian dollar today is the equivalent of 73 cents US, so it hasn't changed. Where's my Canadian dollar? One Canadian dollar today is the equivalent of 73 cents US. 2005. Canadian dollar. We still got the metal. See? This Canadian dollar is the equivalent of 73 cents US, vice versa. So taking all the private and the public debt, one US dollar, this US dollar, is the equivalent of $1.36 Canadian. 1.36. It went up. It appreciated a lot in the past days, weeks, and months. The US dollar has appreciated versus a lot of currency. In some cases, depreciated, but not against the Canadian dollar. Against the Canadian dollar, a few weeks ago, it was one Canadian dollar was 77 cents US, and now it's 73 cents US. So it's about 77 minus 73. Do the math, train the brain. 77 minus 73 is 4. So it is about 4%, right? It could more or less a little bit more because it's not 100. So a little bit more than 4% in just a few weeks. The Canadian dollar depreciated while the US dollar appreciated. So basically, when you say in Forex, foreign exchange, the currency appreciates, meaning it gains strength, more power, versus the other currencies which depreciates, and vice versa. So one US dollar today is the equivalent of $1.36 Canadian, and vice versa. And now we're gonna go to the peso. So taking all the public and public debt of Canada, private citizens such as myself, converting it, all that debt, all the Canadian debt, public and private, whatever the number is in Canadian dollars, converting it to US dollars at that point in time, let's say November 7, or whatever, November 11, November 11, November 11, November 17, November 17, November 17, ASAP, going for ASAP, public and private partnership, transcript, allies and armies, support public-private partnership, and governments in a non-sectarian, non-partisan way. I believe this is the solution. And I'm going to continue with what the debt fusion theory is. So peso, one Mexican peso today is the equivalent of 0.5 US cents. One Mexican peso today is the equivalent of 0.5 US cents. One Mexican peso today is the equivalent of 0.5 US cents. While one US dollar is the equivalent of 19.70 Mexican peso. One US dollar. This US dollar is the equivalent of 19.70 peso. One US dollar is the equivalent of 19.70 pesos. One US dollar. So it's depreciating in the past days and weeks, has depreciated, because a few weeks ago, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was 20, which I gotta check the videos because I got the videos linked. But when I checked about 2 or 3 weeks ago, one US dollar was worth 20 Mexican pesos. So now it's less. It's less today, November 2nd. Today, November 2nd, as of 3:22 p.m. So one US dollar is equivalent to 19.70 Mexican pesos. So it's depreciated while the Mexican peso appreciated. So against the Mexican peso, due to XYZ factors such as perhaps import-export is a major factor in contributing to the appreciation and depreciations of a currency versus another, as it depreciates, import-export, and balance of trade, what's called the balance of trade in international finance and global economics and world commerce, with the balance of trade meaning the imports of a country versus the exports. So if it imports more or exports more, those factors. So it's today one US dollar is the equivalent of 19.70 Mexican peso. Let's see how about the euro. So the euro, 1 euro is today 99 cents US. Today 1 euro is the equivalent of 99 cents US. 1 euro is the equivalent of 99 cents US. So taking all the private and the public debt of North America, first, foremost, the collective North American civilization, NATO member allies, NATO member allies. I'm calling for the creation of a transnational, international, global world currency, and the implementation of this theory to create a global central bank, if you will, to order a new currency. So the 1 US dollar today is the equivalent of 1.01 euro. 1 US dollar today is the equivalent of 1.01 euro. 1 US dollar today is the equivalent of 1.01 euros. 1 US dollar today is the equivalent of 1.01 euros. So it's appreciated a little bit because it was 1.03 and 1.02 last week and 2 weeks ago. So by about 1% or so, it appreciated. So it's bouncing back, because it was one for one a few months ago. It was exactly 1 for 1. So kind of went up and down a little bit. So let's see now Israeli shekels. Israeli to US conversion. 1 new Israeli shekel, that's the currency of Israel, the NIS, the NIS. 1 new Israeli shekel is the equivalent to 28 cents US. 1 new Israeli shekel, the ILS, the new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 28 cents US. So 1 new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 28 cents US. Vice versa, US dollar is the equivalent of 3.53 new Israeli shekels. Went down a bit, it stayed the same as yesterday, but it went down because it was 3.58 a few weeks ago. So the US dollar depreciated a bit, while the Israeli new shekel appreciated a bit versus the US dollar, because 1 US dollar today is 3.53 new Israeli shekel. So 1 US dollar today at 3:25 p.m. UTC time is 3.50. 1 US dollar today is 3.53 new Israeli shekels, right? That's what it is. And let's see the pound. 1 pound sterling is the equivalent of $1.15. 1 pound sterling from Britain is the equivalent of 1.15 US dollars. 1 pound sterling equivalent of $1.15. While 1 US dollar is the equivalent of 0.87 pounds sterling. So 1 US dollar is the equivalent of 0.87 pounds sterling. 1 US dollar is the equivalent of 0.87 pounds sterling. Interesting. Let's see Egyptian pound. 1 Egyptian pound is the equivalent of 0.041 US dollars. 1 Egyptian pound is the equivalent of 0.041 US dollars. 1 Egyptian pound, the currency from Egypt, the country of Egypt, is the equivalent of 0.041 US dollars. While vice versa, 1 US dollar is the equivalent of 24.13 Egyptian pounds as of today at 3:13 p.m. UTC. One US dollar is the equivalent of 24.13 Egyptian pounds. One US dollar is the equivalent of 24.13 Egyptian pounds as of 3:13 p.m. UTC. One US dollar is 24.13 Egyptian pounds. Interesting. And Turkish lira. Let's see the lira. Turkey is part of NATO. Turkey is part of NATO. One Turkish lira is the equivalent of 0.054 US dollars, so 5 cents. One Turkish lira, 0.5 cents as of today at 3:27 p.m. So vice versa, one US dollar is the equivalent of 18.62 Turkish liras. So one US dollar is the equivalent of 18.62 Turkish liras. One US dollar is the equivalent of 18.62 Turkish lira. Interesting. That is very interesting. So we have the Canadian dollar, the Mexican peso, the euro, the British pound, the Israeli new shekel, the Turkish lira, the Egyptian pound, right? The Egyptian pound, the Turkish lira, the Israeli new shekel, the euro, the Canadian, and the Mexican peso, right? And of course, we got the seventh one, the US dollar. We got the seventh one, the US dollar. We got the seventh one, the US dollar. So that is what is up. Let's see Canadian debt now. What stands Canadian? Just for information, Canadian debt. Canadian debt, according to two sources, Canada government public debt, also called public debt, is the liability of the government sector for 2019. It is about estimated at 2.434 trillion. So that is about 64,000 per capita. So that is, a trillion is 1,000 billion, a billion is 1,000 million. So it equivalates to about 2.43 trillion. So it's 2,434 billion, which is 2,434 plus, of course, 9 zeros thereafter. Right, so it's huge. A trillion is 1,000 billion. A billion is 1,000 million, right? Because a million has 6 zeros, a billion has 9 zeros, and a trillion has 12 zeros. So it'd be 2,434,000,000,000,000,000. So trillions is in trillions. So taking all the debt, that's trillions of dollars. Let's see Canadian debt, US debt, US debt, national debt. There's a debt clock. There's a debt clock. Organization debt clock org. There's national debt. US national debt. Debt clock time machine. Debt clock time machine. There's a time machine. Debt clock time machine. Liabilities, assets, liabilities. Well, I got more kisses than the debt. That's for sure. I got 718 trillions of kisses. So got a lot of kisses. U.S. national debt. So the state debt clocks, world debt clocks. U.S. national debt stands at 31 trillion. 31 trillion 253 billion. 200 trillion. 31 trillion, yeah. 31 trillion 253 billion. 31 trillion. Debt per citizen 93,000. Debt per taxpayer 247,000. So 31 trillion. Oh, there's a world debt clock. USDebtClock.org. There's also US debt clock world debt. China has 10 trillion. United States has 31 trillion. Japan has 15 trillion. Germany has 3 trillion. UK has 3 trillion. India has 2.3 trillion. France has 3.7 trillion. Italy has 3.8 trillion. Brazil 1.9. Canada here is put less than what I've read. Canada here is estimated at 1.948 trillion. So considerable difference considering the number, because I said 2.43 and here it says 1.94. Right, so we have to take that into consideration as well. Argentina is billions. Australia is also billions. 705 billion, Belgium 721 billion, Greece 541 billion, Indonesia, Ireland, Mexico, here it is, Mexico, 768 billion. So they're not a trillion yet, but it's 708. Poland 404, Norway 177, Nigeria 164, Netherlands, Russia 299 billion, Saudi Arabia, Sweden, I see Israel there, 229, Turkey 229 billion. I don't know if there's can search. So there it is, the life stats, and then you have the percentages per debt, per GDL. That's the percentage. So my theory, I believe, to be implemented in this 21st century in North America, the collective North American civilization, and NORAD, NATO member countries and beyond, in Israel, and of course extending it to the world for world peace, to have debt refusion theory, taking all the public and the private debt at one moment in time, and do it in a public-private partnership with all organizations and institutions and university, public and private partnership. So debt refusion theory, taking all the private and the public debt, refusing it, whatever the number is, it's in the trillions, it's in the trillions and the trillions, converting it, of course, different currencies to the US dollar, whatever it is, at that day, that moment in time. Whatever the number is, that day, that moment in time, created the, what I call the UE. The UE stands for, it's a U dot E dot U dot. The UE stands for Universal Exchange Unit. U dot E dot U dot. Universal Exchange Unit, the UE. Universal Exchange Unit. The UE, the UE, the UE. Because the United States dollar is still the world currency of choice in international finance, in global commerce, in world trade. So create the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit. The Universal Exchange Unit, in order to issue a currency, global, transnational, international, world, global currency, of course, the UE, preferably by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye being unique biometric identifiers. So public-private partnership with all institutions and organizations, calling on my astrological brother Bill Gates, my brother Mark Zuckerberg, or my brother Elon Musk, whom I'm inviting here to discuss my theories right in this underground room, office, and temple. And maybe I'll connect with that parallel self, or in a parallel life I'm a scientist, and Elon Musk and Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg are going to be impressed. Wow, that parallel self he's us. That parallel self is us. That parallel self is us. So that's what I'm advocating, the DRT, debt refusion theory. I do believe that at this point in time, it's best for that theory to be implemented where we are with inflation and XYZ, and then by creating that new currency, the UE, and all the debt in US dollar, that currency, the initial money supply would be all the debt that it is, right? All this debt that it is, the debt that it is, will be this initial money supply. And afterwards, it will be a maximum of interest of 10% on all loans. It can be less, 9.99, it can be 9.3, 8.8, it can be 7.70, 7.70, 7.70, or 6.1, whatever the number is, or 7, or 7, whatever the number is. But the maximum interest rate on all loans of 10%, and whatever the numbers of all the debt, public and private, converting all that debt into US dollars, and then create the UE, preferably, of course, by biometrics. That's what I'm calling on all the corporations and tech corporations, and Apple, Google, Facebook, private and public institutions and organizations, and of course governments, in a non-partisan, non-sectarian way, and on all citizens to support it, because that's where we are with debt, and where we are at this point in time, in this November 2022. So I believe the debt refusion theory best to be implemented at this point in time. I'm calling on all billionaires, bankers, IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and of course Bank of Israel, Bank of Canada, Bank of Federal Reserve Bank, and IMF, and all willingly loving to support this theory. I do believe that at this point in time where we are, it is best to be implemented, this theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the DRT, to be implemented at this point in time, for us to create this new currency, transnational currency, and of course to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations. The International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be for service and security, secure food, housing, and transport, food, housing, and transport, food, housing, and transport, food, housing, and transport, food, housing, and transport. The three essential elements of civilization: food, housing, and transport. Food, housing, and transport. And of course, afterwards, after securing food, housing, and transport, to offer the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is services, services, services. With consent, mutual understanding, and love, principle that harm none, all services to be able to offer. All services: cooking, cleaning, reading, taking the children out because they're hyperactive and the parents don't want to over medicate them. They could use a half an hour to jog, run, or do 100 push ups, do my workout. Teens, 15, 13-year-olds with the Dragon Army units be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations. That's what I'm calling for. And of course, to help and security. Or, for example, another service, trucker, please, strippers, give the farmers, the truckers, the butchers, the bakers, and all involved in the production and distribution of food, please give them a free lap dance, offer them a free something in restaurants and strip clubs or whatever, offer them a free beer, offer the free whatever to the truckers, to the truckers, the butchers, the bakers. Offer them a free lap dance, strippers, and free hamburger, cheeseburger. That's the fun. So another example of a service could be a trucker. He's driving from California to Montreal, or from the Midwest to here, or from Canada to there, and he says, I'm gonna drive 13 hours. I could use a good neck rub. My back is killing me. Any dragons out there can Dragon Army? I need some service? I need a half an hour of a neck rub, or an hour of a good goddamn massage. Stick to the communications, 3G, 4G, 5G, Dragon Army, yes, app. Yeah, we got you, brother. No problem. You need somebody willing to volunteer. Dragon Army, we're here for service and security. Helicopters, chopper, east, west, north, south, North American collective civilization, secure food, housing, and transport, and hygiene in public. And encourage people to work out, train, exercise, and hygiene in public. Secure all the supply chains, food, housing, and transport, ports, coast to coast, east coast, north, west, south. My policy for North America is we got one border, two oceans, one border, two oceans, one border, two oceans, one border, two oceans. That way is the Atlantic, the east. That way is the Pacific, the west. That way is the Pacific, the west. That way is the Pacific, the west. That way is the Atlantic, the east. And that way is the Pacific, the west. Coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast. Secure food, housing, and transport, and of course offer services. Trucker, for example, is needing, his neck is killing. He's driving for 13 hours long drive. He can stop after 6 hours and say, I could use a half an hour for my break, a good neck massage, or a good massage. Anybody dragging, give me, got you. Half an hour there from the neck for some. Now I can drive better, safer, drive with more pleasure, more gusto, because we're all in with some services rather than blah blah blah. So to be for security and service, whatever is cleaning, cooking, helping with the children, reading a book to the children. Any dragon's gonna read a book to the children, and I can live stream me reading, of course, reading children's books, and you can take, do, and see how I read. And I love reading children's books, especially on nature, civilization, especially ones that include dragons, and working out and training and exercising, and of course hygiene. People that encourage hygiene in public, and of course hygiene in public, and of course things to do with nature and civilization, as I'm writing books about railways, because railroads are super important. The highways are super important. The farming is super important. Construction work, everything that I do as a philosopher, as the people's athlete, the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. So all services with consent, mutual understanding, and love. Consent, mutual understanding, and love. Consent, mutual understanding, and love. And it can be live stream 24/7 Dragon Army with the Dancing Goddess Army. Live stream Facebook, Instagram, 24/7 webcams, east, west, north, south, collective, North American civilization, NORAD. Public-private partnership is fundamentally what I'm calling for us to move towards a post-COVID economic, social, financial, commercial, and of course political, philosophical, commercial system for pleasure and purpose. Fundamentally, that is my call to us all, to move towards a post-COVID economic, social, financial, spiritual, political, philosophical system for pleasure and purpose. For us fundamentally to move towards a post-COVID economic, social, political, financial, philosophical, economic commercial system for pleasure and purpose fundamentally by this public-private partnership, which is my dream for the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, and by the implementation of my theories, which the DRT that I just mentioned, the debt fusion theory, has to come first in order to create the UE, and of course in order to issue the universal exchange unit. I prefer by biometric, the hand, the voice, and the eye being unique biometric identifiers, and of course to create these two complementary covenant institutions, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, with the International Integrated Dance League. Integrated, that will be an all gender, all ages, all sexual orientations inclusive. The Dancing Goddess Army. To be for pleasure and purpose, for the environment, to clean the environment, to plant a tree for every tree that we cut down, to dance for pleasure, and of course to for environmental education and action, because education is required to know what goes in the compost, to know what goes in the recycling, and vice versa in the to better as an individual citizen, so that for the micro and the macro complementary together, the individual citizen has to do better recycling if to not mess up the recycling, because some things don't go in the recycling, some things don't go in the compost, and vice versa, for environmental education and action, and for pleasure and purpose, to dance for pleasure, and of course to dance for Mother Nature, the greatest artist and scientist. I say the word goddess. I'm non-sectarian, non-dogmatic. As a universal spiritual teaching student, I don't know it all. I believe in the holiness of nature and sacredness of civilization as well. My body, holy, sacred, and divine. Your body, sacred, holy, and divine. And to work out, to train, and to exercise is how I invest in the body, and willing to give and receive pleasure, and for pleasure and purpose, for pleasure and purpose, for pleasure and purpose. They can go complementary and hand in hand, not to deny our natures. Our natures, just like I don't. I wish I could afford a bacon every week, pieces of bacon. I'm grateful that I got one a few weeks ago. So, and of course, October, 2 weekends ago, I was able to eat a bacon. Thank you, love to kiss you, farmers, big dragon hugs to the pig farmers, big dragon hugs to the pig farmers. Wall Street, if you make a million, buy, sell, it's 11:44 a.m. Buy, sell your belly. Pork bellies, selling pork bellies, selling buy, trade, trade, stocks, trade, stocks, trade. Please, if you make a million, you already made a million already since 9:30. It's been 2 hours. The stock market's open. It's 11:44 a.m. Buy, sell, trade, stocks, futures, options, puts. If you still got time until 4:30 to make a million, please, if you do make a million profit on the stock market today, please give 10% of that 1 million for food security, which is the equivalent of what's 10% of a million is 100,000. I'm $10,000 in debt, so I'd ask him for 10 times 10. That's 100,000 divided by 4, give, which is the equivalent to 25,000. Give 25,000 for food security, because everybody got to eat. 25,000 for LGBTQ youth services, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, and 25,000 for environmental issues, educational environmental issues. That's my call to the Wall Street. And now I'm gonna go and gonna get some more of the coffee, which I'm grateful for. And we're going to read on Wikipedia the Israeli elections, and we're going to go more in depth as yesterday, and it is going to be some rock and roll time. Be back with some coffee. Gonna be back with some more coffee, and we are live on Facebook. It is 11:46 a.m. Please, if you do make a million on the stock market today, buy, sell, trade, stocks, pennies, futures, options, puts. Please give 10% of that million to, which is 100,000 for food security, women's sports, LGBTQ services, and for environmental causes. Cheers! Even witches need coffee. Auctioning this cup of coffee, not with the coffee, with the coffee mug. This shirt says horrorcore. This is an Israeli metal rock band. This is an Israeli metal rock band. An Israeli metal rock band. Shirt, the black jeans, and this nice button from auctioning. Make an offer, PayPal, North America and Israel, and NATO member countries only. NATO member countries only. North America and Israel shipping only. North America and Israel shipping only. This right here with this right here, and we're gonna rock and roll, tango, rambo with the Israeli elections from Wikipedia, from the Wikipedia. 2022 Israeli Legislative elections. For world peace. Thank you, anonymous farmers who harvested this cup of coffee, this black coffee bean, for me to drink it, to be energized to read this article from Wikipedia about the Israeli legislative election. This black coffee was created, made, and produced initially by the dancing of the goddess. I say goddess. I say the word goddess. Universal spiritual teaching student. I'll say God, God, God. I say rainbow God is dancing with a bird of sun to make, create, and produce all fruits, vegetables, and legumes that our brothers and sisters farmers harvest for us to make, upgrade, or maintain civilization. But I'm non-sectarian, non-dogmatic, on-principle, pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrist, and I am grateful for this cup of coffee. That one of my brothers and sisters, maybe somewhere in Brazil, somewhere in Colombia, somewhere in Cuba, maybe somewhere in the Guatemala, Panama, Costa Rica, or Bolivia, or Peru, harvested it. And of course, somewhere in Africa, maybe Uganda, Ivory Coast, or Ethiopia, or Vietnam, harvested this cup of coffee for me to drink it and for you to drink it. And big kisses to the farmers, big dragon hugs to the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, those workers in construction now from Quebec, and those who, of course, thanks to whom I'm doing this video live with clean zero pollution emission energy, the Hydro-Quebec, the electricity that we're all utilizing here. That's clean zero pollution, zero emission energy that we're utilizing across this label province and beyond, on the collective North American civilization and beyond. 2022 legislative elections. The 2022 Israeli legislative elections were held in Israel, are being held yesterday, November 1st, 2022, to elect the members of the 25th Knesset. The next elections for the Knesset following the 2021 election were initially scheduled for no later than November 11, 2025, according to the 4-year term limit set by basic law. The unity government formed between 8 political parties held the narrowest possible majority, 61 seats in the 180 member Knesset, because 120 divided by 2 is, which is half, 50% is 60, so 61 seats. In April 2022, MK Idit Shimon quit the governing coalition and left it without a majority. On the 20th of June 2022, following several legislative defeats for the governing coalition in the Knesset, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett and alternate Prime Minister Yair Lapid announced the introduction of a bill to dissolve the 24th Knesset, which was approved on 30th of June. Simultaneously, in accordance with the rotation agreement that was part of the 2021 coalition deal, Lapid became Prime Minister and serves in a caretaker capacity until the elections take place on November 1st of November. This was the 5th legislative election in the last 3.5 years, and no party since 2019 has been able to form a stable coalition. 40 political parties registered to run for these elections, although only 12 to 14 parties are projected to make the 3.25 minimum to win at least one seat under Israel's closed list proportional representation system for the Knesset. The Knesset is the government. Knesset. 120 seats. Turnout. Seats needed for a majority. As of November 2nd, today, there's some results reporting 85.89%. 2:06 UTC time. So as of today, November 2nd, so it's not conclusive yet. The results have been for 85.9, a turnout, so supposedly more than 73.1 Israelis of eligible, I'm assuming eligible voting age, turned out. I think it's a bit higher than for Canadian. I think Canada were like around 60%, right? A lot of millennials like myself, What's happening with that vote, bros, skis and sorors, sisters and bro sisters like yours truly? So 85.9 party Likud, Benjamin Netanyahu, current seats 29, Yesh Atid, Yair Lapid 17 seats, National Unity, Benny Gantz 15 seats, Shas 9, Aridar 9 seats, Labor, Merav Mishray 7 seats, ETG, Moshe Gaz 7 seats, Israel Beitenu, Avigdor Lieberman 7 seats, Religious Zionist 7 seats, so 40 parties. Wow, political parties. They got a lot of different seats for a lot of different parties. a lot of different parties. You don't see the in Canada we got three major ones: NDP, Liberal, Conservative. U.S. two major ones, more bicameral, by party system, two-party system, more like with some independence. But nonetheless, here are some of the results of November 2, but it's still the count. It's 85, almost 86% counted as of now. Maybe. So Likud, Benjamin Netanyahu, 29 seats. Yesh Atid, Yair Lapid, 17 seats. National Unity, Benny Gantz, 15 seats. Shas, Aryeh Deri, 9 seats. Labor, Merav Micheli, 7 seats. UTG, Moshe Gani, 7 seats. Yisrael Beitenu, Avigdor Lieberman, 7 seats. Religious Zionist, Bezalel Smotrich, 7 seats. Meretz Zechava Galon, 6 seats. Hadash Tai, Ayman Odeh, 5 seats. Ram Mansour Abbas, 4. Jewish Home, Ayelet Sheked, 4 seats. Balad Sami Abu Shadeh, 1 seat. Background: the extended period of political deadlock that led up to the election was the result of four inconclusive elections: April 2019, September 2019, 2020, and 2021. In April and September 2019, neither incumbent Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu nor leader of the main opposition party Blue and White Benny Gantz were able to muster a 61-seat governing majority, leading to fresh elections. In March 2020, they resulted in the formation of a unity government between Netanyahu and Gantz that collapsed in December following a budgetary dispute, leading to another election in March 2021. The 2021 election led to the formation of another unity government between 8 political parties, with the leader of the Yamima party, Naftali Bennett, and the leader of Yesh Atid, Yair Lapid, becoming prime minister and alternate prime minister, respectively. Bennett and Lapid is the surname, L-A-P-I-D. Lapid agreed to rotate their positions after 2 years, with Lapid becoming the prime minister and Bennett becoming the alternate prime minister. Upon the government's formation in June 2021, it held 61 seats. All members of the Knesset from coalition parties, excluding Yamina Amchaikili in the Knesset, on 6th of April 2022. Yamima member of the Knesset MK Idli Salman resigned from the coalition, causing the governing coalition to lose its majority in the Knesset. The Knesset is the parliament, right? Knesset, that's what it's called, Knesset. K-N-E-S-S-E-T, Knesset. In the Knesset. Basically, so let's read what's the Knesset, so in case we don't know. The Knesset, K-N-E-S-S-E-T, Knesset is the unicameral legislature of Israel. As the supreme state body, the Knesset is sovereign and thus has complete control of the entirety of the Israeli government. So the Knesset is the unicameral legislature of Israel. As the supreme state body, the Knesset is sovereign and thus has complete control of the entirety of the Israeli government. So the Knesset is the unicameral legislature of Israel. As the supreme state body, the Knesset is sovereign and thus has complete control of the entirety of the Israeli government. And maybe tomorrow I'm going to just read about the Knesset. Go more in depth about the Knesset. So the Knesset is the government, in other words, is the government. The Knesset is the government. So the Knesset is the unicameral legislature of Israel. As the supreme state body, the Knesset is sovereign and thus has complete control of the entirety of the Israeli government. On April 6, 2022, Yamima, member of the Knesset, resigned from the coalition, causing the government coalition to lose its majority of the Knesset. Salman cited a decision from Minister of Health Nitzan Horowitz to enforce a court ruling allowing hospital visitors to enter with chametz. Leavened bread during Passover, which is forbidden under Jewish law, and other religion-related actions of the coalition. On May 19th, Meretz MK Gaida Rinawi Zobi resigned from the coalition, alleging that the government had adopted a hard-line stance on Israeli-Palestinian issues and lowering its number of seats in the Knesset to a minority of 59. She rejoined the coalition 3 days later. But on June 7, she joined the opposition in voting down a bill that would have renewed the application of Israeli law in the West Bank settlements, which was set to expire in July. The bill was supported by the government. On 13th of June, Yamima Menke Minir Orbach, O-R-B-A-C-H, left the coalition, arguing the left-wing members of the coalition were holding it hostage. On 20th of June, Bennett and Lapid announced the introduction of a bill to dissolve the Knesset in a joint statement, stating that Lapid would become the interim prime minister following the dissolution. The dissolution of the Knesset automatically displayed the expiration date of the ordinances until 90 days after the formation of the next government. The bill to dissolve the Knesset passed the first reading on 28th of June. The bill passed its third reading on 29th of June, and the date for elections was set for November 1st, 2022. For November 1st, 2022. For November 1st, 2022, yesterday, November 1st, 2022. Bennett opted to retire from politics and not seek re-election. He resigned as the leader of Yamima on 29th of June and was succeeded by Ayelet Shaked. Shaked is a surname, S-H-A-K-E-D, Ayelet Shaked. On 30th of June, in accordance with the coalition government, Lapid succeeded Bennett as the caretaker prime minister. What's a caretaker prime minister? Caretaker government is a temporary ad hoc government that performs some governmental duties and functions in a country until a regular government is elected or formed. Depending on specific practice, it usually consists of either randomly selected or approved random members of parliament. Campaign on July 10, Blue and White and New Hope formed a joint list known as the Blue and White. The New Hope, which excluded Derek. Yes, my dear. Hey, you want to go for a little walk in later?
Yeah, you know what?
What?
It's so funny because it's so calm outside. In Casuria, they cancel the school because the winds are so bad that it's picking up the wind and it's getting in everybody's eyes and it's doing that and it's tossing everything around.
Wow.
So they cancel the school. And here is like, I look outside, calm.
Wow. It's
But I may have trouble when I get there when I climb. It's like one day.
The climate is very different there, eh?
Very different. I might get stuck at the airport.
Yeah. That was my anonymous sister. If I make a million and a billion and a trillion, I'm gonna give her half. And anonymous sister, I nominate her as the chief prime general high priestess queen of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. I nominate my anonymous sister the chief prime minister dancing goddess queen of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. I nominate my anonymous sister as the chief prime minister queen high priestess dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Huh? Yeah, it's already 12. I would say we go around 1:30 or 2 after your shows. Perfect. Go for a walk in the sun. Go for a walk in the sun. Go for a walk in the sun with my anonymous sister. On July 10, Blue and White and New Hope formed a joint list of the Blue and White. The New Hope, which excluded Derek Eretz, who ran as part of New Hope in 2021. On August 14, the list was joined by former IDF Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot, as well as Yamima MK's Matan Kahana and Shirley Pinto, and was subsequently renamed the National Unity Party. On July 27th, Yamima formed a joint list with Derek Eretz known as Zionist Spirit. The alliance dissolved on 11th of September. The alliance dissolved on 11th of September. The alliance dissolved. D-I-S-S on September 11th. On September 13th, Yamima announced a joint run with the Jewish Home. That day, Derek Eretz withdrew from the race. On September 15, 2022, several minutes before the party list submission deadline, the joint list dissolved, with Balad and Hadash Tal submitting two separate lists. In August, Israel launched Operation Breaking Dawn, resulting in clashes between Israeli forces and Palestinian groups. The operation was supported by members of the opposition, including Netanyahu, religious Zionist leader Bezalel Smotrich, and Shas leader Aryeh Darieh. Timeline: September 1. Deadline for submitting an application for registration of a new party to the Register of Parties for the purpose of running in this election. September 11. Publication of the final list of parties running. September 14. 14 to 15 of September. Date of submission of the list of candidates in the election committee. 22nd of September. Deadline for filing a petition requesting disqualification of a list or candidate from running. 18th of October. 18th of October, beginning of television and radio advertising window. November 1st, election date, yesterday. November 9, deadline. November 9 is the deadline for the publication of the final election results. Interesting. November 9 is the deadline for the publication of final election results. November 9 is the deadline for the publication of the final election results. Electoral system. The 120 seats. The 120 seats in the Knesset are elected by closed list proportional representation in a single nationwide constituency.
14 in Montreal.
The electoral threshold for the election is 3.25%. No, B. Two parties can sign a surplus vote agreement that allows them to compete for leftover seats as if they were running together on the same list. The Bader offer method slightly favor larger lists, meaning that alliances are more likely to receive leftover seats than parties would be individually. If the alliance receives leftover seats, the Bader order calculation is applied privately to determine how the seats are divided among the two allied lists. Surplus vote agreements. Two parties could sign a surplus vote agreement that allowed them to compete for leftover seats as if they were running together on the same list. The batter offer method slightly favors larger lists, meaning that alliances are more likely to receive leftover seats than parties would be individually. If the alliance receives leftover seats, the batter offer calculation is applied privately to determine how the seats are divided among the two allied lists. The following parties signed surplus vote sharing agreements for the 2022 election: National Unity Party and Yesh Atid, Labor and Meretz, Likud and Religious Zionist Party, Shas and United Torah Judaism. Pirate Party and Yesh.
Counters were disgusting. When you touched the hand, it was just.
Pirate Party and Yesh Yikuv. Pirate Party and Yesh Yikuv. Pirate Party and Yesh Yikuv. So this is from, then we have the results from the 2021 results. The ideology. Likud is classified as conservative. Benjamin Netanyahu got 30 out of 120 seats. So that's exactly a quarter, right? 120 divided by 4 is 30. Exactly 30 seats is 25 of the seat of, not necessarily the total percentage of the vote, but how many seats. 30 out of 120 is exactly a quarter, which is a quarter is 25%. But it got 24.19% of the votes. Then second place, Yesh Atid, ideology liberalism, got 17 out of 120 seats with 13.93. And Shas, religious conservatism, Arya Dari got 7.17, 9 seats out of 120. Blue and white, social liberalism, Benny Gantz got 8 seats out of 120, 6.66. 6.63, correction, 6.63. And National Conservatism, ILS Shakid got 7 seats. Labor, Social Democracy got also 7 seats, and United Torah Religious Conservatism got 7 seats. Israel Beitenu Nationalism got 7 seats. We also got the demographics. And the retirement incumbents. So the party for who got the year first elected. You got a joint list, Osama Saadi, 2019, Likud, Yuval Steinitz, 1999, from Meretz, Isha Fresh, 2021, Gadar Zehabi, 2021, and then the other ones that got elected for that. So these are the parties. Party. For a more comprehensive list, see party list for the 2022 Israeli legislative elections. Derek Eretz dropped out of the race on 13th of September 2022. So he dropped out of the race. So you got the parties. Ale Yarok is a liberal political party in Israel best known for its ideology of legalizing cannabis. I'm for that. Legalize cannabis. It's legal here in Quebec. Canada. Been legal for a few years. I don't smoke much. I haven't smoked in months. I haven't smoked in months, man. I like to. I still have 3 joints. I haven't smoked them. They're rolled. Bought pre-rolled from. I had them for a while now, more than a year. But time to time. Free Democratic Israel is Israel by Likud, the well-known one, officially known as Likud National Liberal Movement, major center-right to right-wing political party in Israel. Pirate Party. And you got Meretz, Religious Zionism, United Torah Judaism, and Meretz, the left-wing political party in Israel. Meretz, Yehud Bnei Brit is an Israeli political party participating in the election. Balad, and we got Economic Freedom Party. Hadash Tal, National Unity Party, or Stay Camp is an illegal political alliance made up of Benny Gantz, Shas, Shazari religious political party founded in 1984. Shas founded in 1984. Yesh Atid, liberal political party, Israel Beitenu, secularist, nationalist right-wing political party in Israel. Party's base was originally secular Russian-speaking Israelis. The party's base was originally secular Russian-speaking Israelis. Israel Beitenu. Jewish Home is an Orthodox Jewish and religious Zionist political party. Then you have New Economic Party, social economic political party in Israel, founded by the economists of Israel Ministry of Finance. Labor Party, Israeli Labor Party, commonly known as Avoda, is also the Democratic political party in Israel. Party was founded in 1977. So lots of different parties in the election. Lots of different parties. Quite a lot. 40 total is the list. Yeah, it said 40. So it's most likely, of course, a coalition governments. Balad Hadash, Labor Party, Likud, Meretz, Religious Zionist, Tal, Native Arab list. Opinion polls, and we're gonna see the percentages of. Wow, there you are. The parties' percentage of the votes is gonna come. So there's nothing there yet because it's still counting, but there you have all the parties. Eligible population for the votes is about registered voters turnout 6,788,000. Wow. think that it's going to be bigger than North American turnout for the votes, way bigger in percentage-wise. I think North American votes close to 60%, so they're more than 73% in Israel, the voting turnout. So they're say less apathetic or vice versa, whatever. What is the average vote? I think it was close to 61 for okay, millennial and what about the total vote? I think in some elections in North America, Canadian, U.S. elections, and this doesn't reach 70%, right? So you got parties, Likud, Yesh Atid, National Unity, Shas, Israeli Labor Party, United Torah Judaism, Israel Beitenu, Religious Zionist, Meretz, Hadashtal, United Arab List, Balad, the Jewish Home, Economic Freedom, New Economic Party, Pirate Party, Me and You, Zomet, New Order, Jewish Heart, Bible Bloc, Common Alliance, Shama, Social Leadership, Us, Fiery Youth, Free Democratic Israel, 3040, There's a Direction, Knowledge of Good and Evil, and Covenant of Abrahamic Tribes, Ali Yarok, Islamic Family, Voice of the Environment and the Living. These are party names, the names of the political parties in the elections, because there are 40 of them. There are 40 of them, there are 40, there's a lot. The New Independence, Dawn. Dawn is in a dawn of the sun, before sunrise, right? DAWN, dawn, social power, respect for humanity, native, every vote counts, order of the hour, with strength for you, with strength for you, with strength for you. Wow, a lot of political parties there. No, I don't think that's all of them, but there's nonetheless 40 parties. Right? So the election is 40 parties. 40 political parties registered to run for these elections. So the elections are coming in, the votes are coming in. So this has been a special second part of your story. Auctioning is Horkor. This is an Israeli metal rock band, and worked out a lot in one of them. So you work out, train, exercise, and then I'm auctioning this type of. Sure, this is actually made in the USA. This beautiful blue shirt made in the USA. Auctioning shirt, jacket, the black jeans, and the coffee mug. The black jeans, the red and white and black shirt, this blue jacket, and the coffee mug. Auctioning the coffee mug, the blue, and with some gold jacket, and the white and red, and the black jeans. Auctioning PayPal, North America, Israel, and NATO member countries only. Israel, North America, NATO member countries only. PayPal business only. Auctioning shipping to Israel, NATO member countries, and North America only. This has been a special coffee with yours truly, Dracon, and those kisses, lenashek, and gonna see those words in that we said for the Hebrew. The main words is Ahava, is Elovi, and we have the Mazal to dance, Lerikod, and dancer, Rakdan. So we got Rakon, Harakdan, and we got the other words. And we also got the with the R. Radio Drakon Haragdan, and the dancer, Rikud, dancing to dance, Leragdan, to dance, dancing, Rikud, to dance, Rikud, Lirkod, to dance, and dance, Mazol, Rikud, to dance, Drakon, to dance is Lirkod Drakon, to dance. That's it. Never delete.